there are models. There are models throughout the state that are working, but not necessarily coordinated throughout the state. But certainly we know that there are good regional models. What can the committee do as a whole, and what actions can each of us take, kind of like what we were talking about before, both at the state and the local or regional levels, kind of some H2 ideas. And then what sort of resources do we need? Thinking specifically, what can the center help or support us with? Am I in the wrong one?
I don't know.
I just went where I was told.
I was told too.
Yeah, me too, Peg, and I think I'm in the wrong one as well. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, we only have a few minutes, so wherever we are, let's make the best
Yeah.
of it. What the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? What will you talk about, Peg?
Well, I was going to talk about the kind of the building of the shared understanding and the collaborative culture, but I think you were going to talk about funding. So if people can or have ideas, I don't know if we have access to the Jamboard to put up things.
I have the Jamboard up. I'm happy to type.
Okay.
I think the Jamboard we have up is for group 2 on sustained and aligned funding for home visiting systems, or did I pull up the wrong one?
I have group 1. I can put it in the chat.
Oh, then I need to click out of this and do group 1. Okay, sorry.
No worries.
Do we have I have a question. Do we, it's like my first meeting, but is there like a landscape analysis that has been done about what is working, how people have done this either regionally in our state or nationally? Like I would feel like I would want to know that first before we just start making up things.
We did look at some national programs when this committee first got started. And there was talk about doing kind of a landscape of what resources were available in Oregon. I'm not sure that that has been done, and I'm sure there are people that have more knowledge about that than I.
Peg, that is one of our key tasks for year 1 is to do more exhaustive landscape. Because yeah, there was a lot of good work started, but now it needs to get pulled together and stuff. It's not complete, I would say, at this point.
I agree, because I feel like the work that you've done, Peg, in the Tri-County is a really great example. The work that was done in southwestern Washington, that we're sort of building on that experience with the home visiting collaborative work down there, is another really great example. And really finding out what are the elements that make them successful, and how do we build that into the work that we're doing. And those are only 2 off the top of my head. I don't know if others are there. So I
think that's part of what we wanted to hear from you all today is like, who do we need to be talking to? So, right. So reaching out to where those Horizon 2 things are happening, so that we can build on them, especially around this area around shared understanding, because clearly we heard from the collab last week, like they still feel like they don't really understand each other's models, what they're doing.
You know, one place we might want to put on the list is Yamhill County. Because Yamhill, I mean, they have the uniqueness of having the same geographical footprint for their CCO, for the Early Learning Hub, for all their work. And they have done a really great job of collaborating across the different partners, and what's helped to make that work, and what are the challenges that they've experienced. So I have a feeling the sticky is supposed to be for group 2. All these stickies should be on group 2.
Oh. You're sure right.
Mhm.
Huh. Kristen is not in our group. Oh, there she goes. She's moving them. There we go. Mhm. So I'm going to add a sticky for Yamhill County. And then did I miss one before I got with you?
Well, the work, Peg, you're doing that Health Share's been leading in the Tri-County area.
Well, and and I think what Brenda is doing in Central Oregon as well. So there's several examples around, many of which involve the hubs.
You're supposed to be in the other group, Sue.
I know that.
You want me to move you?
Oh, Sue.
You're running, I don't know, Kate is too. So whatever you want to do, it's fine.
I
I
don't know
think
what
look,
happens to Breakout group.
I think looking at those areas where there is starting to stand up the system development work in a coordinated fashion, and there's several hubs that are working on that with their public health home visitors and the whole array. Many of us have done a pretty good landscape scan of what we currently have now and where folks are falling through the cracks. I mean, we did that as part of our planning for our Family Connects work.
And I think that the home visiting system in Southern Oregon that was funded with Ford Family funds is another example of, I think, people working together and something that it has been pretty successful. They really started that from scratch, so that would be an idea of how the model got started and how they established trust between the various programs and so forth.
I'm wondering about collaboration at the state level because I feel like there's still, I mean, I still hear a lot of state partners like needing to listen and learn, which is great. But I'm wondering where that sharing and coordination at the state level should and can be happening outside of this committee even.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean state broadly or state me?
State, so who it's like Rick and Tennille and yeah, others at the state level. I'm just
We have
curious.
some opportunity for that through the ELC, but it's that's kind of at the agency director level as opposed to the people that are actually running the programs and perhaps sharing that information.
Yeah, I know my EIECSC director coordinates on the regular, and she's on RUIAC. So I feel like we're really connected from early childhood. EIECSC lens. I think where things could happen more seamlessly is when the committee identifies barriers, themes, needs. But someone like me or someone from the state agencies in question can take them to their teams to talk about if you're having multilingual migrant barriers. If we identify them, I can take them to the multilingual migrant team. So it depends on the barrier itself and then how we track them in. So that system should be developed between the agencies. Once the goals are identified, the barriers are identified, how will each partner take them back to their organization to increase the likelihood of an infusion of understanding and action?
That's great, Neil. That gives me some clear ideas of what might happen. And I'm afraid we're going to have to go back to the main session again. I don't know what happened. Next time it will all run very smoothly. I feel confident. This
It was
time,
a good attempt.
yes, this time we had a few bumps in the road. So I'm going to close out the breakout rooms and take us back to the main room. All right, the breakout room should be coming back. We can do a brief closeout. Again, my apologies and thank you for your grace as we negotiate technological difficulties. Next time, I'm sure it will all go very, very smoothly. And we will definitely reach out to you with some more next steps and follow-up. So apologies for that sort of bumpy small group session. We will get it down in the future. All right, I think I'm going to turn it over at this point to Peter to close us out and wrap us up because we have 1 minute left. I know each group wanted to have time to share out, so I don't know if there's anything you want to quickly share out, Peter, from your group.
Yeah, just great discussion about we just need more information both on what funding sources might happen from the federal side. Are there matching grants there? How to it came down to, is there a roadmap of all funding for home visiting that we could develop from state, federal, philanthropy, everybody, so to see where the dollars go. The last point that Gwen made about workforce, and we need to get more information about what the compensation level is for different programs all across the state, so we have an understanding of what we're trying to build from. That's a quick summary. We left a lot of work for staff, which is
all right. Yeah, I can share. Peg, do you want to share a few quick takeaways from ours?
Just that we identified some successful programs, Peg's work with the metro area, the Southern Oregon programs through the Ford Family Foundation and the program in Yamhill County, and identified again a little bit more work for staff.
Great.
And I can wrap it back to telling people thank you for your time today. We're going to do a lot of work via email because we need to keep the momentum going. So please keep your eyes open for email from Beth and her team. We have to do a doodle poll for our meetings in June, September, and December. So that's going to be in your email box. Follow-ups in today's meeting will be in your email box. So we just have to be able to use email to keep the momentum going. It's very important that we don't lose momentum there. And with that, I'll just thank everybody and turn it back to Beth in case she wants to have any last words.
Oh, just appreciations and apologies for the bumps in the small groups. But yeah, we will be following up because we don't want to lose that momentum. And there's a lot of positive energy today that I really appreciate everyone showing up for. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day and week.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.